Hi, this is Edward Troxel, and today we're going to look at how to take a script in Vegas and assign it to either a key press or a button on the toolbar. By doing this, we can quickly access any of our scripts without having to go through the menus. So let's see what it takes to get this done. The first step is locating your script that you've created and copying it to the correct location. We're going to use our test script, JETDV render script that we've been working on. So I'm just going to go to my test scripts, JETDV render script, JETDV render script. I've recently recompiled it, so we'll go to bin, release, and we'll see our JETDV render.dll file. Similarly, if you have a smaller script where you only need the .cs file, you can copy that file instead. Now that we've got the file, the question is, where do we copy it to? A lot of people would say, let's go to drive C, then we'll go to program files, then we'll come down to Vegas, then Vegas Pro 18, and then in here you will see a script menu folder that has all of the scripts that are included with Vegas. If you copy your file to this location, it certainly will show up in Vegas Pro 18. It will not show up in other versions of Vegas, but it will show up in Vegas Pro 18. For two reasons, you really should not copy into this folder. First reason is you really should not mess with the program files folder that Vegas has created. The second reason is that you want it to be able to show up in all versions of Vegas, and the other locations that are available will let you do that. So the question is, which other locations are available? My particular favorite is to go to my documents and then create a folder here called Vegas Script Menu. Anything placed into this folder will now show up in Vegas Pro 18 and all other versions of Vegas. So if I take this, right click and drag and choose copy here, now I have JETDV render.dll under the My Documents Vegas Script Menu folder, and I can start Vegas now. And when I go to Tools, Scripting, you will see that I now have the JETDV render script there, and if I just click here, it will run. And we see it is now listed here, and it will work exactly the same as it did before. We could choose the format, pick a save directory, type in a file name, choose the type we want it to do, and click on render. However, that is just one of the many locations it can be placed. Let's look at a list of all the locations it can be placed. So the first one we looked at was My Documents, and that is personally the one I like best. You can also place it under the App Data Local Vegas Pro and a version number, so that it would only show up under a specific version. So for example, if we went to C:, users, username, and went to app data, we can put it in local, Vegas Pro, and we could pick a number like 18, and we could then create a script menu folder here, just script menu, not the word Vegas, and it would only show up in 18 once again. Another location would be to go to roaming, Vegas Pro 18, create a script menu folder here and place it inside there, and it would also only show up in 18. The next place we could put it would be in Drive C, go to Program Data, go to Vegas Pro, go to 18 or 18482. If we put it in this folder and create a script menu folder, then it will also only show up in Vegas Pro 18. Personally, I like being able for them to show up in all versions of Vegas, so let's look at some other locations which will allow that. So let's go back to Users. We'll go to App Data, and if we go to Local, Vegas Pro, and just create a script menu folder here and put it in there, then it will show up in all versions of Vegas. Likewise, if we come back to roaming Vegas Pro and put a script menu folder here, then it will also show up in all versions of Vegas. Finally, if we come back to Program Data, Vegas Pro, and just put a script menu in this folder, then it will once again show up in all current versions of Vegas. Let's go over this list once again, and here they are on the screen. Similarly, you can do the same thing with application extensions or custom commands. We have not gotten into custom commands yet, but the only difference is instead of creating a script menu folder, you would create an application extensions folder. So if we go back to my documents, you will see that I have the Vegas script menu folder, and then I have the Vegas application extensions folder, and that is where Excalibur and Montage Magic, my two products, install automatically. Now that you have the file in the proper location and Vegas can see it, so we go to Tools, Scripting, Vegas can see our script here. Now that Vegas can see it, we can actually add it to a button up here on the toolbar, or we can add it to a KeyPress. Let's add it as a button first. If I just double click up here, then we will get our list of things that can be added to the toolbar. When I scroll down, you will see a list of all kinds of things over here. And right here is our JETDV render script. I can add it by just clicking on Add, and now it is listed over here. If we look up above up here, these are all of my custom commands that can actually be added as well. So if I scroll down here, I can find Excalibur. I can add it over here as well, and when I click on Close, you will see we have the Excalibur button here, we have the JETDV render script here. So if I just click on this, it will pop right back up. If I click on this button, it would open Excalibur up. To remove them, all we have to do is come back up here and say I don't want this one on the toolbar anymore. I could just click on Remove. Likewise, this one I could just click on Remove, and now they will no longer be on the toolbar. So it works the same with both a script and a custom command. Now let's go in and see how to add it to a KeyPress. So we need to go to Options and Customize Keyboard. Now you need to figure out what has the focus when you press the key. So if you only want this when you're in track view, then set it there. If you only want it when you're in track list, you would set it here. Only when the Explorer is open, set it here. If you do global, basically it will do it no matter what. So let's see if we can find a KeyPress that will work for our render that hasn't already been used. So let's come down here and we'll type in, let's say, Control-Shift-R. And we'll assign that to our JETDV render script. So let's come up here to find our script. I should be able to just type in JETDV, or Jet in this case. Click on it and come down here, Control-Shift-R, and tell it to add. And now that it is assigned Control-Shift-R. Once again, you can do the same thing with custom commands. If I type in EXC, for example, you will see all of the Excalibur stuff will show up, and I could scroll down until I find Excalibur itself, and then I could assign that to a KeyPress as well. So let's just say OK here, and now when we press Control-Shift-R, our script will open up. Now that we have the script assigned to a button on the toolbar or a KeyPress, we can easily run any of our scripts without having to go through any of the menus. Please sign up at www.jettv.com and subscribe on YouTube to get further notifications on when new videos are presented.